Hello and welcome to this tiny little training video on how to use Gravity Forms. Okay, so from the main dashboard we've logged in, and on the left hand side we're just going to select forms from the drop down list. Clicking on the top item will bring you to a list of your existing forms. So we've already set up the Contact Us form and 2 tests. If at any time you want to get rid of a form, it's as simple as clicking on Trash, and that will put it into the trash can. You'll notice that even though it's in the trash can, it hasn't been permanently deleted. To permanently delete a form, you need to go into the trash and then select this option, Delete Permanently. Okay, so we'll get rid of that one. Okay, and now back to that list of forms again. So I'll show you this form which we've already created, which is the Contact Us form. You'll see all those items are in place from the existing Wellness Designs form. Basic anatomy of how to build the forms. All of the form field options are on the right hand side here. Standard, advanced. These post fields are just for form submissions that are to create blog posts, so we're not going to cover those today. And pricing fields are of course a little bit more complicated. I'll cover them in a different video as well. So now let's have a look at how to create a new form. So we'll select new form from the navigation. You'll need to give it a name. This is just to identify it on the back end. So let's call it post. Let's try training form. You can put a description in there as well. As a rule, we don't display descriptions. So anyway, every new form that's created will have this basic guide to how to build a form. So this is a great little memory jogger if you forget these immense words of wisdom that I am dispensing. However, it is basically as simple as deciding the content that you want for your form and then choosing the correlating fields. As a rule, let's say we're creating a basic contact form. Select the field type and it will appear on the left hand side like so. Once the form has been placed, click into it just with a left mouse click on a PC or whatever mumbo jumbo there is on a Mac. The field label is this information here, and the description is any advice or instructions on the kind of information that you want. Okay, so you see this information will now appear below the inputs. In a moment we'll change those settings, but for now, let's just get a few more form fields in there. Let's say email, phone, just a little pointer with the phone. The phone format by default is American format. You will need to change that to international. Now if you want the field to be required, simply select it there. And for no duplicates, this is a good idea for any information that we're putting into the CRM, so that it doesn't allow the submission of existing information and won't create a duplicate record. So again, maybe we call it telephone, and you can put a description in there. If you want to, you can left click, drag and drop the position of the fields like so, and once you've completed the fields and you're quite happy with the content, simply select update form and that will save the work that you've done. Now I'm going to show you one more thing, which is conditional fields. So let's say we've got a multi-select field. Oops, sorry, no, we'll use a radio button, sorry, like that. Click into it, and let's say these are options for something. Okay, we'll just keep these values as they are, so first, second and third choice. If you want to add another one, just click the plus. If you've made a mistake, click the minus. Okay. You can also, with these choices, choose other, and what that will do is just leave the option so that if they want to select something that isn't there, they can put that information directly into a submission field. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is so that we can create what's called a conditional field. So let's say there's a paragraph text below this, and we'll call this option 2. Okay. In the appearance, you can determine with these submission fields just how big it is. So small, medium, large. Let's drop it down. And then in the advanced field, you can enable conditional logic. Okay, now what this means is that you can create rules for when this paragraph text turns up. So let's say the options for something, which is the name of this field set. When that is the second choice, then that field appears. Okay, now we'll update form, and that will save all that information. Now we can go into the form settings. Okay, one of the things that you notice is that the description placement before was below the inputs. I think it's a good idea to put it above the inputs. It's just easier to read. And you can change the text on your button. Okay. Now there's button conditional logic. What this can be applied to is if you have a tick this box to accept terms and conditions. In fact, that's important enough that what I might do is actually just go back and put that in. So let's go back into the form editor. We'll just put a checkbox. Accept T and C, and get rid of all the other choices. Okay, we'll update the form now. Go into the form settings. Down here we'll enable the conditional logic. So show if the accept T and C is I accept. Like so, otherwise they won't be able to submit the form. Useful little tool. Now the confirmation message will just appear automatically upon form submission. So this is prior to sending any emails. You can edit that simply enough. One thing you can do, which is a little bit interesting though, is over here on the right hand side is add a merge field. So if they've submitted information like their name, choose their name as part of the confirmation message, and then you can have whatever any other information that you want. Save that. Now we get into the notifications. So by default it's sent to the administration email for the site, and by default it submits all fields. Okay, so you can muck around with these bits of information as much as you like. You can set up a client notification as well. So we'll update that one, and let's just say that we go to notifications. We will add a new notification, call it client submission. Select their email field. All that information can remain the same. If you want to put a message in there, and then you can again draw on the merge fields. Hey, such and such, and then craft the message that you want to send them. So we won't dig into that, that's all fairly straightforward. Save the notification. Okay, now what I recommend is that you do a preview of the form to make sure that it is functioning the way that you want it to. A couple of things you can test are simply that the conditional formatting works. So click on second choice. Remember, this is the field that, when selected, created that message box, and also just that when the T and C is accepted, only then does the submit form button appear. So that's about all we can do, just in terms of getting you up to speed on form creation. Obviously, send yourself a test just to make sure that it's all working, but otherwise you can add it to your WordPress site simply by going to a page or a post. We'll just add a new one. So put test, and now we add the form just by clicking the add form button. This is our post training form. Insert, and that will automatically put the shortcode in place so that when we go to that page, the form will appear automatically. So if we preview that, you'll see that it doesn't display the shortcode. It actually displays the fully functional form. This will also pick up all of the styling for your website, meaning that if you have default styling against forms, it will show up correctly here. A bit of a double render there. We'll have a look into that. And that is all for today. Enjoy.